So once again, welcome each one of you for being here today. We are here to talk about a company called Lev AI. It is literally being birthed as we speak. And it is something more than a company. This is a concept. This is, in fact, the future in your hands. We launched this company last night in the USA and Canada. Today will be the final one of this type of presentation. We'll begin demonstrating technology more. We'll begin showing tangible things. Today, I'm going to do a training for those of you who are interested in participating. That will happen at 4 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll describe how to utilize those parts of the process that were introduced last night. By the way, our company launched last night officially in the United States and Canada, and this coming Monday, we will launch in the balance of the world. Lev AI, that stands for Leveraging Artificial Intelligence. The concept is to bring accessible artificial intelligence to the entire planet. And when I say to bring accessible artificial intelligence to the planet, let's contemplate that just a little bit more. I reflect back on the early 1980s when I saw the first computer. A friend of mine named Andy Kay was the founder of one of the early computer companies. And he said, Randy, the day will come when every desk has one of these boxes on it. And I couldn't see it. So I used a computer, but I didn't become a conduit to other people's use. A few years later, the advent and widespread adoption of the internet was very similar. And I used the internet, but I couldn't see that there would be a global mandate that everyone adopt. Those two lessons prepared me differently for this lesson, for this moment in time. Each of us now determine, will we use AI in our business? Will we use AI in our business only, or will we also use AI as a business? There is no question of whether we will use AI in our business. Everyone will. It is a global mandate, just as computerization and the use of the internet are. We will all use AI in our business. The question is, will we also make a business out of helping other people have accessible AI? That really is the question today. And the answer to either question is a resoundingly positive answer. We can help you build your business. We can help you also create a business by being a conduit to the utilization of this service to other people. I'm thrilled to note that my son Blake is the president of the company, not because I hired him. I could not. I don't have that authority. Blake, however, deserves the role. He was raised in the home of an entrepreneur, my home. He is an attorney. He has built large businesses on a global scale, has lived in Portugal, Brazil, Israel, and the United States. Has been the CEO of publicly traded companies with enterprise value measured in the billions of dollars. He successfully guided a company called Medical Marijuana Incorporated through the end of the prohibition of cannabis. His non-compete agreement recently expired, making him eligible to guide our company into the future. And as we go on, I'll also talk a little bit about the hows and whys, this unique possibility to be at the genesis, at the outset of the foundation of an extraordinarily important initiative, and yet not suffer the risks typically a part of that. That is due to and owing to the ownership and the extraordinary financial capabilities of the company and to its assembly of management. We'll talk about that more as we go along. I remember when I first began investigating and sticking my toe into the waters of artificial intelligence, I was so fascinated by it because I heard statements being made by people that were obviously very bright, but they were statements that I just couldn't wrap my arms around. Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, said that AI is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. I mean, can you imagine that? This is a very, very bright man saying that AI is more profound than fire or electricity or anything that we've done in the past. That is why we all need to understand that this cannot be considered a continuation of our careers. It is not. This is a complete inflection point. It is a shift. That which was not possible in the past is possible in the future. That which was not possible in the past now becomes possible in the present as a result of launching this company, at least domestically and in Canada last night. And you'll understand as we go on how and why that is such a remarkable possibility for each of us. And here another one of these most intelligent people, Demis Hassabis, the head of HeadMind, saying the difference here with artificial intelligence is it's going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution and maybe 10 times faster. These are some bizarre statements, aren't they? But if we contemplate from whence the statement comes, from the type of individual making those statements, then there is a bit of veracity to it. In fact, a lot. So once again, let us all recognize that this is not a continuation of our career. This is one of those rare moments in the development of a culture and society. It's a moment like the Industrial Revolution, but bigger and faster. It's a moment like the advent of computerization, but it's now. And it's a moment like the advent of the world net, of the internet, but it is now. And you get a chance to choose. Will you use the technology in your business, or will you also make a business out of the technology by being a conduit to other people's use? Those are our choices. Lev AI makes it simple for entrepreneurs to launch, market, and grow businesses. I'm going to help you understand in a couple of minutes why it doesn't just make it simple, it makes possible so many things which up until now would have been impossible for the vast majority of small business owners, solopreneurs, sidepreneurs, entrepreneurs. Lev AI makes it simple for entrepreneurs to launch, market, and grow businesses. There's a host of problems that are solved by this suite of tools contained inside what we call the Lev AI solution. Today, as people are becoming increasingly aware of the absolute necessity of becoming knowledgeable, conversant, becoming effective in the utilization of AI. Notice I said becoming effective in the utilization. Artificial intelligence is a tool. It doesn't do anything by itself. It does what it's taught and told to do. It is a tool. A shovel is a tool. You can dig a ditch with a shovel. A backhoe is a tool. You can dig a lot bigger ditch a lot faster with a backhoe. The question is, what is the nature of the tool that you use, and what is your measure of skill in using the tool? And it's also important to note that up until this moment, there has not been a singular tool that would satisfy the needs of most small business owners in the effort to introduce AI, artificial intelligence, into their business building practices. They unfortunately, as of until yesterday, had to acquire a group of different tools, each with its own subscription, each with its own cost, none of which unfortunately communicated very well one with another. And so the promise of AI has not begun in any way, shape, or form to become realized. Sundar Pichai says it's more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. Well, the current results of those people using AI are not more profound than fire or electricity. They're not bigger than the Industrial Revolution. So here comes Lev AI, a catalyst to cause that group of individual ingredients to coalesce into one. If one has a catalyst ingredient in a loaf of bread, well, then the loaf rises. If one does not, it's a group of ingredients that don't function very well. Here we are. Lev AI is the catalyst ingredient to bring together that group of confusing and complicated tools, making it a solution that is not just palatable, but delightful in all respects. The solution, Lev AI. Remember again, the name Lev AI, that's the name of a company. The concept is to bring accessible artificial intelligence to the masses of humanity. Let's talk about that for a second, bringing accessible artificial intelligence to the masses of humanity. Today on planet Earth, there are approximately 8 billion people. What percentage of them do you suppose use computers? That's the percent who will use AI. 85% of that transformation will take place in the next 4 to 5 years. This then is one of the most critical moments of our business and personal careers if we choose to make it so. It will simply roll past it if we don't choose to become a catalyst in causing that which was destined to occur more quickly. Why is it so profound? It is so profound because we actually have the ability to eliminate two of the greatest obstacles that have stood between small business becoming not quite so small. We actually eliminate the barriers of geography, we eliminate the barriers of time, and we eliminate the barriers of communication. That is why this is not simply an extension of what you've done in the past. That is why this is an inflection point. It's more profound than fire, electricity, or anything we've done in the past. Removes barriers that make people feel stuck. You'll understand that with clarity in just a moment, and removes the fear of failure by helping people not fail anymore. There are a series of things that would cause a person to feel stuck. One can, well, let's just quickly identify what each of these concepts are, and then we'll address each one individually, concisely. We will address online presence and consistency, the ability to do something more with a CRM or customer relationship management tool, the ability to eliminate outsourced expenses to build and maintain websites, a what I consider to be perhaps the most important. And what's most important to each person will be dependent upon their life's experience. My life experience indicates that there are so many people who don't accomplish their goals, not because they do that which is required, but do it poorly, but because they don't do that which is required. The ability to have a constant guide back to what I call the center line of his immeasurable worth. And we will even introduce to each member of the organization an ability to interact with candidates who have asked to receive information as opposed to you having to provide the information. Certainly, this will be a tremendous benefit in the movement from the reactivity of employment to the proactivity of entrepreneurship foremost. And so let's look at each one quickly. The good news is they're easy to understand. They don't take long to understand. We can accurately predict someone's future value by measuring their current influence, and we can measure current influence by measuring social media presence. So everything that we do, literally everything that we do, will have a primary, a secondary, and a third level benefit. One of the benefits of everything we do is to expand social media presence, and in so doing, expand future value in the marketplace. When you do a simple screenshot import into our CRM, I think you'll immediately realize, wait, this is not an added expense. This reduces my expense because I can eliminate my current CRM. And your current customer relationship management software almost certainly costs more just for that one solution than our entire suite of solutions. Eliminating expenses by gravitating to a more effective, all inclusive, comprehensive tool suite just makes sense. Import every contact via screenshot, and immediately, guess what your LevAI suite of solutions will start doing? It will tell you what every one of your candidates wants to know more about by doing a perusal, not just a perusal, but a study of their social media platforms, and then giving you a detailed report of what matters to them. This giving you the opportunity to talk about what people want to talk about as opposed to trying to get them to be interested in what you want to talk about. Find a way to have your your message, whatever your message is. Once again, you may be using LevAI to grow your business, your message. Please be on today's training. Come to understand how we can help you grow your message. And I think that for those who have even a measure of turbocharged power in their entrepreneurship, you will see the values in not just using LevAI to grow your business, but as a business, because every other entrepreneur likewise needs what we do. Again, simple screenshot import. And upon that screenshot import, guess what you get? A detailed report of what the candidate wants to know. Is this not a big step forward in helping our new producer, those trying to break through, helping them get unstuck? Certainly, I think so. No further expense in building and maintaining websites. It's easy. I've done it. Now, this next piece, we all would tend to focus on those parts of it that hit home most directly to me. This part hits home directly to me. Why? I've had a life of extreme success in entrepreneurship. I would say extreme success in small business. I'm not a big guy, I'm a little guy, but I've had very big success in small business. My group's done about $5 billion in sales, and I've been paid royalties on that 5 billion, and so have the people in my organizations. What I've found is that those who have succeeded, it's not been generally speaking because they had some unique set of talents or skills, unless that talent or skill was simply to persist. I mean, if that's the talent or skill, then yes, those who succeed, every one of them, all of them have the talent or skill to persist. What I found is that so many people simply get off track. They get confused. Anything that is new, by definition, there is a degree of lack of knowledge around it. And with lack of knowledge comes doubt, fear, insecurity. Doubt, fear, and insecurities are the enemies of all productivity. And so anything that we could do to keep guiding our candidate back towards what I've always called the center line, not our candidate, but our new member, that would be extraordinary. And so I think of a part of my life, I fly airplanes, and I'm an instrument rated pilot, which means that sometimes I fly in the clouds. If I'm flying by visual reference, that means I'm just looking out there and trying to figure out where am I going to land? Where's the next spot? If I'm flying on an instrument flight plan, then there is a controller specifically assigned to me who is at every step of the way guiding me back to the center line if I get off it. If I happen to be flying in the clouds, I have no visual reference. I am then reliant upon, notice I choose my words carefully. I would like each of us to be reliant upon artificial intelligence. I would like none of us to be dependent upon it. Not just a subtle shift in words. That's a big difference in what we're seeking to create. We're creating a leadership group that can become self sufficient and leverage artificial intelligence. We are not creating a group of lemmings who are dependent upon an avatar to do what he or she should do better by themselves. Big difference in thought process here. But now, my particular airplane is 6162 Romeo. And so if I'm in the clouds and I have no visual reference, I'm flying by the gauges, I'm on an IFR flight plan and I get off track, I've got an assigned controller that says, hey, 6162 Romeo, you're 3 degrees off center to the right. Please turn left and get back to the center line. 6162 Romeo, you've fallen beneath your designated altitude. Please ascend. 6162 Romeo, you've climbed higher than your designated altitude. Please descend. Constant prompts getting me back to the center line. Can you imagine the extraordinary value to every new team builder in any organization having constant prompts just like I have from the Air Traffic Control Center? Well, welcome to Lev AI, because that's exactly what starts happening the day you begin utilizing our process. I then contemplate this simple thought. Most people who are entrepreneurs became one. They did not emerge from the womb an entrepreneur. Most started as an employee. They had a job, and the job had boundaries around it, borders. Do this in these hours, make these reports to these people, and we react. Then we find out the shoes are too tight. No, I want to work when I want, where I want, with whom I want, and if I want. I want to establish my own value in the marketplace. Well, that's not a job description, is that? That's description of entrepreneurship. And so we discover I want the freedom and flexibility and ultimate upside of entrepreneurship. And then we come over here and we find out, wow, now instead of being told what to do, I have to figure out what to do. Now, instead of reacting to the demands of position, I've got to be proactive to the demands of my business. That can be challenging. Once again, think of the prompt, getting back to the center line, the center line, the center line. Cicero said the skill to do comes from the doing. Before too long, we're not wandering around in the deep snow. We've been on the center line long enough that we're wandering a beaten path. And suddenly that which seemed extraordinarily difficult becomes not just easy, but automatic and rudimentary. I think that one of the tremendous added benefits to our program is there are a lot of people talking about AI. They want to know more. There are a lot of people talking about home-based business and solopreneurship. They want to know more. Well, we have access to a database of 2 billion plus of those people who want to know more about what we are talking about. They want to know more about what you are talking about. Don't you suppose it will help to have a specified number of people every month that you and your new members can interact with who have requested help? Is it not logical? In fact, is it not obvious that as a result of responding to one's query for information, that is an easier conversation to join? Suddenly, more of the correct activities take place. And what Cicero said years ago proves to be accurate still today. The skill to do comes from the doing. And as a person develops more skill, they likewise develop more poise and confidence. And as they have more poise and confidence, they're developing more self esteem. And then that person with the proper self esteem, poise, confidence, knowledge, and skill has become the attractive leader that draws others to him. You see, I had a couple of people say, well, Randy, isn't this going to stymie leadership development because people will depend upon AI? No, this will enhance leadership development because people will rely upon AI, using it always for areas where that reliance need be permanent. I'm never going to speak Mandarin fluently in this life. And so my reliance upon the speech skills of AI will be permanent. However, I can learn what to say and what not to say by following the prompts. I can get guided back to the center line often enough that sooner or later I'm just on the center line. I no longer need it. Please understand the utilization of this process will grow people, not the opposite. There is a lot to this. And in a few days, and I don't know, what does that mean? Is a few days 10 days? Is a few days 3 days? I don't know. The widespread distribution of the AI avatar is a few days away. I've got mine. It's pretty incredible. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. My AI avatar can speak fluently in 150 languages, and it can do it with such dense content. I've loaded more than 150 hours of content in it, with much more coming. Your avatar looks like you if you want it to. Mine looks like me. Not because I love the way that I look, but because it's the way that I look. My avatar looks like me. It's a brand, and I want people to recognize that brand in more and more places. You can give it any script, or you can use your personalized GPT to create it. A personalized GPT, you ask? Yes. 700 million people logged on to Chat GPT in the past 7 days. Why? Because they were looking for answers to questions. They were looking for solutions to problems. ChatGPT gave them good answers and good solutions, but it didn't give them perfect answers or solutions. Why? Because it pulled from the internet information that by definition was generic as it related to the specific project of the individual who sought that answer or solution. With your personalized GPT, You can now load all of the exact content that you want into that GPT, such that when you ask it to create a script, it will create a script that is unique to your enterprise, to your culture, unique to your business, unique to you. And it can do it fluently in a dozen languages, in dozens, not in a dozen, in dozens of languages. I've done this. You're all going to experience it right away. And by the way, today, and then the training session done later on, I'll start teaching the ways to begin adding content to your AI solutions. Your digital twin solution is not yet included in the back office. Again, days, how many days? 10 days is still days. I don't know if it's that long or not. It's not a lot longer than that. What will your AI video say? What will your twin say? It'll say what you want it to say. You give it your script, and then you have your chat GPT craft your message, and you get to determine um, the personality. We all have different. I mean, there's different components of all of us. And in some parts of my life, I'm somewhat playful. In other parts of my life, I'm very, very serious. That's not a different personality. It's different expressions of my singular personality based upon the circumstance. Your AI twin has those same capacities. We've heard Larry speaking in Hindi yesterday. I enrolled a couple of people yesterday simply by sending a post out to folks that I knew spoke French and they knew I did not. And they heard me speaking what I was later told was really, really good French. And that was the sum total of it. What was the absolute total of my business presentation? I sent them a 90-second clip of me speaking French. Their response was, "That's cool. What else can it do?" I sent them a full business presentation and they enrolled. Folks, let's not make this harder than it is. An absolute incredible value. Throughout my entire career, I've explained away price. Now, instead of explaining away price, I celebrate it and I scream it from the rooftops. Just two packages, $49 or $99. That is a monthly subscription to utilize the technology. AI video, your likeness, your voice, speaking your script flawlessly in dozens of languages. And you can even use AI to generate your script, and not just AI pulled from the generic world. No, pulled from the specific content that is important to you, not generic, specific. Business profiles, as I just indicated, will have sometimes multiple messages to deliver, and we would need not different personalities, but I'm not the same in all parts of my life. I mean, there's the parts of me that are always there, but if I'm in a very, very important business discussion, there's of course a different expression of my personality than if I'm in a little league game. And so your pro avatar will have the capacity to be loaded with as many types of content and not different personalities, that's the wrong word, but demeanors. I have a different demeanor when I'm in an intense business discussion than I have when I'm in a little league game. I have a different demeanor when things are going exactly the way that I want them to go, and a different demeanor when I need to take hold of a situation and cause change. With the Pro Pack, you can create as many demeanors as you think are appropriate for the number of messages you need to deliver and the types of messages within context. I love the literally from the beginning, everything is about growing your social media presence because guess why? Because that grows your ultimate value in the marketplace. The CRM screenshot with added information that is so deep about each contact, the value simply to know what is important to the people in your business life is greater. Just that value is greater than the total subscription price. I love the website builder. You can create better websites, not worse, because they look exactly like you want them to look. They feel like you want them to feel. They have the functionalities you want them to have, and they don't cost a darn thing added beyond your regular monthly subscription. The enhanced CRM, telling you what the candidate wants to know and then guiding each candidate through a professional funnel, allowing each one to arrive at his or her point of logical conclusion in the shortest possible period of time. Man, over 2 billion searchable candidates that you can drill down as deep as you want to find the exact talent. See, I tell people all the time, we need to enroll people who need our business. Without question, people need our business. We're doing them a favor when we bring it to them. And I can view that two ways. People need our business, whether that means that we're delivering our technology to them to use in their paint store, or if they need our business because they need to be a conduit to other people's use of it. We need to enroll people who need our business for their benefit. Doesn't it make sense that we should also enroll some people our business needs? And so that means that you can drill down all the way to what is the talent, the skill, the background, the nationality, the ethnic diversity, what is needed in your business right now. Well, you're about to have 2 billion searchable prospects, and you can drill all the way down to the specific need you have. And so let it be that we enroll people who need our business so they can use the technology to grow their enterprise, whatever it is. Let it also be that people can use Lev AI as a business, and let it also be that we enroll people who both need our business and whom our business needs, and oftentimes those will come together. In so doing, we are always at every step of the way doing something for another. The interactive avatar, mine exists. All of the content is not yet loaded to make it as conversational as it will become. The depth of loaded content will determine how conversational it becomes. Before I unleash this interactive avatar on the world, it will have hundreds of hours of content. And here's the magic. Remember, I said a little while ago that we have actually found a way to break the barriers of time. How can that be? How could we possibly break the barriers of time? Because right now I am in one place in one time. This is where I am. It's the middle of the night right now in some places in the world, and it's not at all convenient for people to be listening to me. But you know what? The digital version of Randy, I can be there on your time. We've broken the boundaries of time. And I can load that digital Randy with all of the content that is appropriate and applicable to the conversation that you want to have with me. So we break the barriers of time because, as opposed to only being able to be here right now speaking to you, I can now, in fact, be any time zone in the world, all at the same time or uniquely. And you know what? Today I can be in one place. We can broken the bounds of geography completely. Right now I can be in one place. Now, as soon as that avatar is fully taught, as all that content is there, then suddenly, as opposed to being limited to be in one place in time, my time zone right now I can be in your time, whatever is convenient for you. Instead of being limited to be in one geographical location, I can suddenly be everywhere, all places at all times, in every home, in every city, in every state, in every nation, speaking fluently in the language of the homeowner or the resident. Folks, that is why Sundar Pichai said this is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past, because nothing we've done in the past has enabled us to break the barriers of geography, to break the bands of time. Literally, your interactive AI avatar, once fully compressed with dense knowledge, allows you to escape the boundaries of time and space. And that is why this is more profound than anything we've done in the past. And that is why we simply cannot consider it to be an extension of our past career. This is a complete, absolute, and total inflection point, all for an absolutely absurdly inexpensive price of $99 per month. And I believe that this is understated. I don't think you could begin to replace this suite of services for 315 bucks. I think, frankly, it would take 1,000. Complete, absolute, unmatched value. You cannot buy what this company sells for less money anyplace else, period. And what exactly is the size of the opportunity? Well, we can view it a couple of ways. What is the size of the opportunity if you're going to utilize artificial intelligence to grow your existing business? Then the size of the opportunity is probably measured in a 3 times productivity gain or a 5 times productivity gain. If you have a 3 times or a 5 times productivity gain and literally no added cost associated with that, then that means that 3 to 5 times is all dropping straight to the bottom line. And what an incredible gift we've given to any entrepreneur who chooses to utilize Lev AI to grow their business. Then there's another way we can look at it. What is the market opportunity? If you choose to not just use Lev AI to grow your business, but what if you use Lev AI as a business? What if you come to realize that today there are 8 billion people on planet Earth, and 7 billion of them will have adopted AI 4.5 years from now? Today, 3% of them have. What if you become a conduit to their adoption of not just AI, but to the only truly accessible, all inclusive platform right now? Has the most comprehensive services and yet the lowest price? Then, how big is the opportunity? If 8 billion people are going to, and today 3% have, and if you have the best product, best combination of services, and the best price, then how big is the opportunity? That is why Sundar Pichai said this is more profound than fire or electricity or anything in the past. That is why the head of DeepMind said the difference here with AI is it's going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution and maybe 10 times faster. This demands, folks, that we open our eyes wide and we pay attention to what is going on, because these are not days that we can simply recall. We will all use, that is not a choice. We will all utilize the technology. The whole world will. If we become a conduit to other people's use of the best iteration, Lev AI, then when they acquire their package, that 50 or $100, you'll be paid $50. Do it as many times as you want, over and over and over again. Remember this, every single human that you know is going to use AI. They all are. The same percentage of people are going to use AI that you know is the same percentage of people who drink water and breathe air. Everybody. And so if you are a conduit to that use, then by saving them money, giving them the best service, you'll make 50% immediately on their ongoing monthly subscription. You'll continue to be paid 20%. I have one friend who has 25 million Instagram followers. How many of them are going to use AI? 25 million. If she becomes the conduit to their use because of her influence, 25 million people paying a monthly subscription, rewarding her 20% each per month. That's why this is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past, because she has 25 million followers, but what percentage of those followers buy the makeup she represents? What percentage of them use the hair solution she represents? What percentage of them do this, do that? Well, compare that to the percentage that breathe. The percentage that breathe are the percentage that are going to use AI. And so you see her influence just had a great big multiplier put on it in terms of its market value. For those who, like me, build organizations in depth, in addition to that 20% on generation one, we build teams in depth. We can get paid on 7 more generations of leadership structure. Please note that in our company's case, there is no artificial dilution from PV, No, cash comes into the company, cash goes into the compensation plan. So that 20% on Gen 1, that's 20% of cash. 7% through 4 more generations, that is 4% of cash. 4% through 7 more generations. And then whenever an idea is hot, and folks, this is hot, and it's at a different level. When an idea is hot, the market tells you so because of mass adoption. So this has been done almost in secret so far. There's been not a dollar spent in advertising. It was, I think, 36 days ago, we had a first Zoom and introduced a handful of people who had all signed NDAs to a concept that was coming. And this has now exploded to 43,000 early adopters in that 35-day period of time. And only yesterday did people begin to experiment to see and truly understand how the technology works, because only yesterday were the first significant components introduced. Notice I said the first significant components. The rollout of the digital avatar is yet upcoming sometime in the next 10 days, 2 weeks. I'm not sure exactly when. But in the compensation plan, you get paid when you introduce a new person to the project. That's 50%. It's called acquisition bonus. People you enroll, that's Gen 1. You'll get paid 20% on their ongoing subscription from now on. The next 7 generations, you get paid 4% on their subscription. Everybody you know is going to be subscribing to someone's version of AI. Ours is the best, and it is the best price. Open the funnel wide. It is everyone you know. That's the number of people that can be contained in that box on which you earn royalties on that revenue created every month. And whenever there's a mass movement, we know that there will be people who are much, much deeper than 8 generations, literally overnight. That's happened, of course, with Lev AI in the first 24 hours. And so the compensation plan must have that infinity payout to continue paying in depth so that the legs don't bottom out when leadership becomes too scarce. And then finally, folks, get ready for the stories to be told about what I believe will be the largest checks ever contemplated or dreamed about in micro enterprise. Why? Because that 4-level check match, this is when you get paid because other people get paid. Whenever someone earns an acquisition bonus in your group in the first 4 generations, you'll get paid. Remember what I said? Every single person you know is going to use AI, and every person they know is going to use AI. When you become effective at showing other people how to bridge the point of lack of knowledge, doubt, fear, and insecurity to knowledge about the superior nature of the Lev AI solution, when that happens, they acquire the product and you'll get paid. And when you get paid because other people earn, that is a staggering thing. Those who build in depth, once again, a simple 8-generation, unilevel compensation plan, which will create stunning checks. Now, last night, Blake gave updates. These slides that I'm showing you right now are somewhat outdated slides, and I apologize. I'll quickly zip through them anyway. The Levi application, I hoped it would be live yesterday. We were notified a few days ago that it's about 10 days out still. So about 10 days. Up until now, we're doing desktop. The Levi back office, it's simple. It really is, but it's different. And so tonight, this afternoon, when I do my training, I will teach a few things about the back office, how to find what, where. Having been through it just a little bit, it's an absolute thing of beauty. But whenever something is new, there needs to be a little bit of teaching around it. And so I'll do that this afternoon and ongoing. If you're already building teams, please go to your waiting room. This is pretty obvious. Simply go to your back office, click on team, click on waiting room, and there you'll see how to place the people who have already joined your business Multi-language support is already available. And by the way, the preponderance of responses that I'm getting are that the company's very first earliest days, customer service is absolutely exceptional. That's what I've heard again and again, that it's absolutely exceptional, not good, great. Many more languages coming. We will launch the rest of Planet Earth this coming Monday. And when we launch the rest of Planet Earth on Monday, we will have two global solutions that we know will work for payment in and payment out. Those two global solutions are PayPal and crypto. PayPal and crypto PayPal's available now. Crypto will be available on Monday for payment in and payment out. This we did because whenever one does something on a global scale, it is reasonable to predict something between 90 and 120 days of integration, of account opening, of relationship development, of underwriting to secure local merchant processing for credit cards. And so we're guessing that in some nations, some African nations, we might only have 10 or 15% of credit cards that run. So we didn't want to turn the system on until we knew that people had access to a PayPal account and until we were able to accept crypto. So this coming week, that begins to happen. Please follow us on all social media outlets listed here. Don't miss a single bit of the information forthcoming. This is the hottest thing you're likely to run into in your career. Don't don't let too much time go through your fingers before you are the conduit to other people's knowledge. Everyone you know is going to hear this. Everybody. There are no people you know who are not going to hear this message. If they hear it from you, you are the one who will receive the royalty as a result of being the conduit. Strongest suggestion. Go to youtube.com/@GetLevAIHQ. And then I'll tell you what I do every night. I craft a little text and I change the words around just a little bit, see what works the best. And it says something like this. Are you participating yet in the widespread adoption of artificial intelligence? Or it might say, are you yet participating in and becoming a cause of the ultimate inevitable global adoption of AI? If not, you may be at risk. Please watch the video below and let's talk. And then below, I put this teaser video, and right below that, I put my enrollment link. And then 50 times every night, click, 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 click. I just go to letter A in my phone and I send 50 to letter A. Tomorrow night, I send 50 to letter B. The next night, I send 50 to letter C. The next night, I go to Instagram. Click, 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 click. The next night, I go to WhatsApp or whatever it is. And because I'm simply giving people a chance to establish and decide their own worth, I'm not convincing anybody of a darn thing. I am looking for those who are looking. There's a groundswell out there. People are talking about AI. When I go click, 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 my text finds the one who was looking. And when I find the one who was looking, I know it because I wake up in the morning and I have new enrollments. Do not make it more difficult than that. That is how easy it is right now. It won't always be that easy, but that's how easy it is right now. We don't have the risks that are typically a part and a parcel of this, of positioning at the beginning. Why? Because we operate under the global umbrella of Mr. Terry LaCour. LaCour Enterprises is the global service provider for LevAI, and Terry owns the company. This company, LevAI's rapid deployment is possible due to the depth and breadth of LaCour Enterprises' history, who they are, where they are, their global footprint. The reason I know that Pay Solutions will not be a long-term problem is because that's one of Terry's primary businesses. Access to leading back office commissions and operating history, hundreds of years of collective team experience, over 25 years building businesses in the micro enterprise world with 7 billion in accumulated revenue. And so, folks, please know and understand this. The question is not for me or for you or for any of us. The question is not whether we are going to use AI in our business and in our lives. Yes, we are. And so is everyone else. The question is only, will we be a conduit to other people's use? Will we use AI in our business? Yes, 100% of us. Will we use AI as a business? Don't know. That's a smaller percentage. You fit where you want to fit, and let us help you accomplish your objectives, whatever they are. It is time right now, folks. And here it says LevAI will officially launch in 2 to 3 weeks. That slide is 2 to 3 weeks old. LevAI launched last night in the United States and Canada. LevAI launches Monday in the rest of the world, minus the handful of dictatorial regimes or the handful of places in the world that are completely devastated by war right now where it would be unsafe. But we launch in 96% or 98% of planet Earth that we're not already in on Monday. So it is now, folks. I encourage you to do the following things. First, tonight at 9 o'clock. Well, in fact, let's not go that far. First, today at 2 o'clock Mountain Time, 4 o'clock Eastern. Let's just not talk about Mountain. At 4 o'clock Eastern, I will conduct the first training that I have done about the technology, the utilization I will conduct the first training I've done about the technology, the utilization, about how to set the ball in motion. That will happen today at 4 o'clock Eastern. Tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern, Eric to Muhammad will do an absolutely stunning job. I don't think so. I know so. He will do a beautiful job in introducing Let AI to your candidates. And I encourage you to know this will be a special experience. Most of you don't know Eric. He's really, really good. I encourage you to let your candidate know of that opportunity, and also to make sure that your entire membership, whoa, just about lost my iPad, and also that your entire membership knows of that. I'm going to do just a quick look right here and see if there's anyone. Nope, I was just looking to see if anyone's hand was up. I need to call them. There's not. Folks, this is as good as it gets. If you have already opted in the pre-market environment, become real today. Activate your account today. If it's possible, be with me today on the training session coming up at 4 Eastern, be on Eric's session tonight. And I will begin a steady flow of information teaching you how to use the technology that we have now embraced such that it can add value to other people's lives, and in so doing add value to yours. Folks, the future is bright. This is one of the magic moments in our lives. But let's make the best of it. Let's have fun doing it and help some people along the way. God bless you and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.